Live, Jarrett and I, Coach Donovan here with Jarrett. So Jarrett, thanks for being here today to just kind of chat it up and converse about just like your experiences. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about some of the major decisions you've actually made in our time together. I know you're excited about going to study abroad. So I'd like, where are you going? Let's just start off with that. Where are you headed out to for this semester?
Yeah, so I'm going to be studying abroad in Lisbon, Portugal. I am going to be there from February to the end of May. While there, I'm going to be taking a couple of business courses, but also just kind of experiencing the culture for the first time. Making this decision was kind of tough. I've never been outside the United States at all, not even to Canada. So to go across the Atlantic for 4 months, that was kind of tough. But I'm excited.
You're right on the border of Canada. You've never even made it into Canada?
No.
Dang. Okay, that is a big deal. So yeah, and that's definitely something we talk through and work through, and so we can dig into that a little bit. And then I guess Jarrett and I have been working together for quite a while. This is the second school year we've worked within, isn't it? We started this, was it last school year, or did we start during this current school year?
I think we started late my freshman year, and now I'm going to my spring semester junior year.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, we've had a good connection for quite a while. And I think the common theme though has been definitely the major decision making. And so I think as we're going through this time of life, I guess what comes to mind for you, like the kind of decisions that a lot of kids face? I've got teenagers that I serve and now 20 somethings too. So what are the kind of decisions that come up for somebody your age that are kind of on your mind?
I know like the big one is like where you want to go to school. That's a tough one. I mean, for me, I applied to one school. I don't recommend that. I would apply to more. It does make the decision easy if you apply to one. And then next, just kind of like what your major is going to be and stuff like that. That was one of the big ones I worked with Donovan. I originally went into school for entrepreneurship, but now I'm finance and accounting, and I'm pretty set on that. But I also am pretty interested in like health and fitness, so I may take a chiropractic route as well. But when I started working with Donovan, there was no clarity, and now I have those clear two paths worked out now in my head.
Yeah. So are we done? Check, because we kept working together, and there's other things that have come up. So it seems like that's one big thing for sure. But tell me, I guess, dive into the how our conversation went around study abroad. So not even you're a stone's throw away from Canada, haven't even been to Canada. And now you got this big decision to go study abroad. So to me, that's pretty exciting, just to see the evolution, number one, on the clarity, but obviously we weren't just done with that one thing being clear. That's a big one, a major decision about what school to go to and what major to choose. And then once you got that checked off, the next big thing, or one of the next big things, was studying abroad. So what was hard about that? I guess just kind of share a little bit about what that was like for you.
I mean, obviously the things I mentioned about not traveling outside the United States, but there were a lot of other factors for me. Portugal was kind of really the only place I could go because they were the only ones that had classes approved for the college I go to. I go to the University of New Hampshire, UNH. I had no other places I really could go. But if I was to study abroad, I needed the two classes that they offered that were approved for my major in order to graduate on time. So it was kind of like, do I take the risk to get those two classes or do I? And if I don't, I would have to do a J-term class or a winter or a summer class, something like that. Then financial, you're going to be over there for 4 months and you're not going to be working. So you're going to need to have enough money for spending, traveling, whatever else you want to do while you're over there. And while we're working with Donovan, he helped me kind of discern which factors were important in the decision-making process and which were not. So I know a big one for me was finances. Luckily the program I go to, it's not much different than attending a semester at UNH, but the idea of not working for 4 months and having to take out of reserves to live off of is that was kind of a big deal to me. But it's kind of like weighing like what's more important, to experience the culture and to get that independence of traveling on your own at this age, or losing $2,000 to $3,000 at this age. Like, uh, I mean, $2,000 to $3,000 is a lot of money, but at this age, you have so much time to recover that money. And this was before winter break, so I could technically work and probably make that amount of money. So at the end of the entire conversation, we kind of realized that like money should not really be a huge factor in this decision the way I was thinking about it. Um, and then like as you work with, or as I've worked with Donovan to kind of with other decisions, I can now use these for like even smaller decisions, and just it makes the whole process a lot easier. I know one thing that he said to me early on is the worst decision is not making a decision at all, because um, then that decision is just constantly on your mind. You're not moving forward. So
Yeah. How do you get over that bridge though? Like we talked a bit about specifically, like what was the thing that made you take the leap
I
to go
think
abroad? Yeah, to go
I
for it.
think I think the big thing that made me take the leap was just I realized that if I stayed at UNH for that semester and just took it easy, that it would be easy. It wouldn't be a challenge, and like I would grow as a person, but I wouldn't grow as much as I would if I was to go abroad. And then it would be much less likely for me in the future to ever go abroad again at that, like for that long, or in general, just because I've never done it before and I don't have a reason to be over there. So I guess the big jump for me was whichever career path I choose to take, whether it's accounting and finance or chiropractic, I'm going to be interacting with all types of people, and it may be helpful to experience another culture and kind of have a better understanding of how people from other places may act. And that may allow me to just interact better and be more empathetic with clientele.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like that's definitely something that's important with coaching too, because I think sometimes we don't see things in ourselves and don't see kind of that bigger picture. But then there was also like just like the financial piece too. Like when you made that decision around finance, when you're weighing things that matter and don't matter, you kind of shared something with me about that the other day too. So what were your thoughts on, the $2,000 or $3,000 that is a lot of money right now?
Um, yeah, I mean, I mean, so like I've worked since I was like 16 years old. So like, and like I have, like I'm pretty good, like fine. I have pretty good financial literacy. I save, I invest a little bit. Like I feel like I'm doing pretty good. So to like take money that I've worked hard for to then spend it, it's hard for me to justify. But so it's, I guess it's just weighing the pros and cons and how you value it to make that decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for you too, it was like pretty evident that that's the kind of work ethic you have too. And I just kind of saw like, oh, this is totally something that you can make up. You can't get the kind of experiences you were wanting, like to serve people and get a little bit of a cultural feel of a different culture. You can't buy that. There's no other way to buy that. But the $2,000 or $3,000, I really felt like you could totally make that back up.
Yeah, definitely. And like you also have to know yourself. Like, are you a hard worker? Like, are you going to be able to make that money back fairly quickly or in the time before you go? Maybe you don't have to. Maybe you have the financial means to just go wherever you want. And that's awesome. And I mean, yeah, it all comes down to like how well do you know yourself
Yeah.
too.
Well, that's the fun. I mean, when I get to see those dreams and those possibilities and the things that are going to expand you and help you grow, I'm just all about cheerleading and encouraging and taking a stance for those. As long as I also kind of see the connection of like I see you as a person that can do, has the work ethic that's going to figure that out. So I think that's where it comes to somebody else giving you a little bit of a window into yourself too, to kind of mirror hey, this is a strength. You can definitely make this happen. And I wouldn't have done that if I didn't feel like that was a strength of one of my clients. But I definitely could see like you're fully capable of being able to make up for whatever you're going to be sacrificing on the financial side.
No, yeah, and that's definitely a huge thing in coaching that I've valued a lot. Like, I talk to my family, whether it's parents or siblings, friends, about kind of all my decisions, but like they know me almost too well that it's going to be biased. And so it's helpful to have somebody who's not biased to talk about these decisions with, who also kind of has the life experience to understand where I'm at in my life. Like with your background as a guidance counselor, you know exactly where I'm at and kind of where my head's at. So it's very easy for you to advise me in an unbiased way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been fun. So, what about if like some people that are watching, like especially parents? I think one of the big things with the coaching and we're looking at Generation Z. I want to have people start coaching younger is my big idea. I had made a post and some people were like, "Oh, I wish you could turn back the clock for me." That was not what I meant on my post. That I would literally help people start coaching when they're younger, if they're 40 and 50 plus. But just like starting, in coaching at, your late teens, 20s, like that's not super common yet. So if somebody's on the fence, especially parents that are thinking about, oh man, like this is my baby, because we still think you're our babies. I got a 19-year-old and she's off in LA. So it's kind of a big deal with our own kids, no matter how old they get. But if they're kind of on the fence and they're thinking about, oh, I don't know if I should do this, or hey, this is a major investment, or whatever kind of like hesitations they might have, what would you say to somebody that's kind of teetering on the fence of maybe getting support with their decision making and with their future planning? What would you say?
I would just try to not think of it again in terms of money. And I know it's hard because it's a big investment, but you need to think of it as like your return on investment. Like if you go to Northeastern, you're spending $70,000 a year. That's an even bigger amount of money. And is that going to give you a big return on investment as well? Probably. But so you need to, so I guess through my experience, I have received my return on investment. Like I'm very happy. And I think you need to think about where you're at right now, or where your child is at right now, and where you want to be, or where you would like, or where you see they could be, or their like their potential, and what's missing in that gap, and what type of advice do they need, and kind of decide if you're a good fit between you and the coach. And if you are, I think it's a good thing to do to invest in your education. That's, I mean, you are your most valuable asset. So the more you educate yourself and make yourself better, the more powerful you're going to be in life.
Well said. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think that is what we can do. We can always like make ourselves more valuable, and we can't turn back the clock. There's no turning back the clock. But if somebody starts when they're, your age, and you're looking at being able to raise your value as a person contributor in the world, it's definitely something where you're going to make a bigger impact all the time, like forever. You get to get that return on investment forever, because you're just, putting yourself in a space where you're just becoming a more valuable, part of civilization,
exactly.
really.
For sure.
Very cool. All right. So what else, any other things that really stood out? Is there anything like just top of mind that comes off the top of the dome that you really valued with coaching, and just this kind of connection to having somebody that's connected with you that doesn't know you too well? What difference has it made for you, and what else pops to mind?
I think the biggest things are the decision making, which we've gone over, and then just like having that person that's well educated and in a way kind of where you want to be. Like they're doing something that they enjoy, they're making money while doing it, and like they're happy. I think having someone like that to talk to, because I think it's rare in life that somebody's actually happy doing something they're passionate about and making money all at the same time. Like you probably can't even name enough people to feel your fingers who do that. Like it's pretty rare. So to find someone who does that and be able to learn from them is pretty cool. um yeah, I mean, and even if you don't have any decisions, just to hop on for a half hour to an hour long meeting to kind of discuss where you're at with your goals and set new goals, and it almost like realigns like your headspace to get you back on track. Like if you feel like you're falling off a little bit or slacking, like I know after every meeting, maybe if I was playing video games or not doing anything, like I'll get back to working on what I was supposed to be doing, and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah, it can't be that way in the next generation. It's just that's what I see. Like, it was so crushing to get it wrong early in my life, and it's so amazing, like you said, to really enjoy what I'm doing right now. I'm really, really, really fortunate and lucky, and I just don't want it to be like you got to luck out to land in that spot. I think Generation Z can be way more proactive, and we can have not just like I got 10 fingers. We need more than 10 out of Generation Z here
Yeah.
to make it and to do what they really enjoy in life and what's their passion and purpose. So that's the mission. So I love that. Yeah, and it sounds like it kind of gives you a little bit of a reset too. If you've lost
Yeah.
your way a little bit, it gets you on point again. Cool. Well, any other parting thoughts, or I think we could wrap it up at this point. It's been a pleasure to just like have this opportunity to converse with you live here today. And thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you as well. I mean, you've made a pretty big difference for me, and I look forward to continue working with you.
Cool. All right, Jarrett. Well, that's it for today, everybody. Jarrett, again, thanks for being here and sharing with everybody. And I hope that really made a difference to people here that got to tune in. So we'll see you. Have a great day.
Awesome. You as well. Thank you.